Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're heading to a remote patch of grassland in South Australia that is, quite literally, rewriting the rules of the global power grid. We're not talking about some minor incremental update here. This is a complete paradigm shift in how we capture, store, and deploy electricity on a massive scale. Let's get into it. So how exactly is a remote Australian grassland pulling this off? Well, there is an unprecedented energy revolution happening right now. And get this, it's not in the US and it's not in China. It's happening in South Australia, a state with fewer than 2 million people, through a groundbreaking $220 million project led by Neoen and Tesla. The secret sauce? A newly deployed system called the Megablock. And the numbers on this thing are absolutely staggering. It installs 23% faster and costs 40% less than previous generations. 40%. That right there is exactly why the entire global energy industry is sitting up and taking notes. It isn't just better technology, it's drastically more efficient to build. All right, part one, the mega block revolution. What we're actually looking at here is the world's very first physical deployment of Tesla's mega block. This design completely flips the script on grid-scale batteries. In the past, you'd wire one unit at a time out in the field. Not anymore. Tesla essentially mashed 4 Megapack 3 units into one massive, self-contained supercluster. We're talking 20 megawatt hours of energy with transformers and switchgear built right in at the factory. So it entirely eliminates complex on-site assembly. It ships from Texas, you set it down, plug it in, and you're good to go. The ultimate plug and play. Which brings us to part two, the hidden grid problem. To really grasp why the megablock had to be invented, we have to talk about a hidden, potentially fatal weakness of renewable energy. See, for decades, our power grid relied on something called grid inertia. Basically, the massive, physical, rotating weight of spinning turbines in coal and gas plants acts like a giant stabilizer. But as we retire those old fossil fuel plants, we lose that physical spinning mass. And without it, the grid becomes incredibly vulnerable to sudden frequency drops. A tiny disruption could literally cause the whole system to collapse. So the crucial point is this physical contrast. We're basically swapping out thousands of tons of spinning metal for pure digital intelligence. Packed inside these battery clusters are highly advanced digital grid-forming inverters. They actively generate their own frequency. It's like they're digitally mimicking the heavy lifting of a massive thermal power plant, but without burning a single gram of fuel. Pretty wild, right? Moving on to part three, a full thermal replacement. Because it turns out, these intelligent machines aren't just batteries anymore. They are full-on structural replacements for power plants. Look at this comparison. When the grid freaks out and desperately needs stabilization, a traditional gas plant needs, 10 to 15 minutes just to wake up and start injecting power? The megablock? It reacts and injects power in under 1 second. Less than a single second. It is completely outpacing legacy infrastructure. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What about fire risks? We all remember the headlines from a 2021 incident. Well, Tesla tackled that head-on by entirely changing the battery chemistry. They ditched the old nickel-manganese cobalt, or NMC, and moved to lithium iron phosphate, LFP. This new chemistry has a significantly higher thermal threshold. Translation? The risk of fire is materially lower. Plus, it's packed with an integrated internal safety system that monitors everything and can intervene remotely before things even have a chance to escalate. And here's how it all comes together in the real world at the Goyder North project. It's this beautiful integrated ecosystem. During the day, massive 600 megawatt solar arrays charge up the batteries. When the wind kicks up, the adjacent wind farms pitch in. Then, at night when the sun's down, the batteries just seamlessly take over, independently pumping continuous, uninterrupted clean power directly to the grid. Let's hit part four, the economic tipping point. Because with all this continuous power flowing independent of the weather, you gotta ask, who's actually buying it? Who is buying 100 megawatts of clean power? You'd probably guess some trendy green tech startup, right? Or maybe a government agency. But actually, the answer is one of the biggest plot twists in the modern energy transition. The buyer is BHP. Yeah, the 130-year-old mining giant, the literal poster child for heavy industry and fossil fuels. They just signed a 10-year contract for continuous electricity. And they didn't do it to win PR points. They did it because their finance guys ran the numbers. The raw, brutal economics of wind and batteries simply won out. To put that into perspective, by 2029, a staggering 70% of BHP's colossal Olympic Dam operation, where they extract copper, gold, and uranium, will be reliably powered by this exact renewable setup. Think about that. One of the most massive resource extraction sites on Earth, running on sunshine and wind.
The economics are just undeniably powerful. In fact, check this out. In 2024 and expanding into 2025, Tesla's revenue from energy storage in Australia officially overtook its revenue from selling electric cars. Let that sink in. The company the whole world associates with the EV revolution is actually making more money down under from grid-scale batteries.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, the Global Energy Blueprint. Because Australia's unique market has basically transformed it into the world's largest live testbed for energy storage.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. Australia's national grid battery capacity recently blew past 10 gigawatts. That's a global first. South Australia itself is aggressively pushing for 100% renewables by 2027. Guys, that is literally around the corner. We're seeing new projects smash the old 4-hour commercial storage limit, pushing into 6-hour durations. And get this, they are literally commissioning massive batteries right next door to active coal plants, just waiting for the legacy system to retire. Look at how fast this is moving. Just 8 years ago, the Hornsdale Power Reserve was a 194 megawatt-hour project. The media called it a bold experiment. Well, today, the Goyder North initial build is 4.5 times larger than that. And when it's fully built out, it will be nearly 20 times the size of that first experiment. This structural shift is happening at a blistering pace.
But here's why this matters to the rest of us. The engineering tricks and the commercial models being stress-tested in South Australia today, they are serving as the direct blueprint for nations like Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. As those countries rebuild their grids, they aren't guessing. They are copying the exact playbook being proven right now.
It perfectly echoes what one industry insider recently said. The question is no longer whether batteries can replace coal. The question now is how long it will take for that to happen at a global scale. The debate is truly over, folks. The new energy paradigm is here. It's functioning safely, successfully, and yeah, it is highly profitable.
So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. A quiet, remote stretch of grassland just permanently rewrote the global rules of electricity. We know the tech works. We know the math makes sense. The only question left is, how long until the rest of the world catches up? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. I'll catch you next time.